Performance League. You join us again tonight in Monza at the Autodromo Nazionale Monza for the Italian Grand Prix. So tonight I'm on my own. Malk is actually commentating on F2, but certainly we hope to provide you with some good entertainment tonight for the F1 League race. We certainly hope that things will be hotting up on track. Last night we did have an explosive race, and we certainly hope to provide you with something similar tonight. So at the moment we're currently just waiting to go to the garage as we wait for all drivers to load in, and certainly we should see some of the fastest laps in Invictus at the moment for qualifying and the race. Certainly Vinny was a favourite to take the race win tonight, but I do believe he is unable to attend, so certainly that leaves the field wide open tonight. Certainly Speed Queen will be looking to get her season underway and hopefully secure an early race win, but that she'll certainly come under stiff competition from drivers such as Gamer the Best, Parkway Drive and Sam Bam Kid. And certainly for those that join us, then please feel free to drop us a message and let us know if you're enjoying what you see on track, and certainly any comments that you feel is worthy, and certainly opinions you would like to be made known. So it is a dry qualifying at the moment. We're currently waiting for the first cars to go on track. Hopefully we'll get an update from the pit lane to let us know what the weather's going to be like in the race. Personally myself, I'm hoping for a dry race so that we can see lots of action going into the turn 1 chicane, as well as Ascari and Parabolica as well. We certainly saw some fantastic overtakes last night, and I'm sure that we'll see so much of the same tonight. So as I say, we're currently waiting for the first drivers to be going onto the grid, and it looks as if that's a Mercedes just leaving the pit lane. I believe that could be Sam Bam Kid. And we'll just ride on board as Foxy Red also takes to the track, and the McLaren opting for the quicker tyre at the moment, the Super Soft, and he's certainly followed on track by Sam Bam Kid. So certainly Foxy Red will be looking to heat up the tyres and the brakes as he completes his out lap. He's certainly got fresh air, and he'll be hoping that as he comes round again he doesn't meet any traffic coming out the pit lane. There was certainly an incident last night as when the Mercedes came out on track just ahead of Mike in the qualifying. Just a quick good evening to Lance Stroll. Thank you for joining us, and we hope that you enjoy tonight's action. So just getting an update from the pit lane. It is dry qualifying, and it'll also be a dry race, so I'm hoping that that's going to provide some spectacular entertainment for the viewers who have decided to join us tonight. And Foxy Red's just coming through Parabolica as he looks to start his opening lap, trying to get a good line coming down the pit straight, approaching turn 1 chicane. He's got a little bit of traffic in front of him of the Toro Rosso, but it does get out of the way as he comes through the first chicane. It looks very neat and tidy, looking to approach Curvy Grande at pace to put in the first sector time. So we have a first opening sector time of a 26.7 from Foxy Red. A little slide at the rear tyre as he just exits the chicane. Just coming through the Lesmos, he'll be looking to carry as much speed as he can as he goes down the back straight, approaching Ascari. Looking very sharp under brake, runs a little bit wide from Ascari. That might compromise his turn exit, and it could have cost him an invalidated lap as well. Seen a lot of cars come out track. That's actually all cars out on track at the moment. So 15 cars on track as we jump back on board with Foxy Red coming through Parabolica, looking to complete his opening lap, and he sets a 1:22.1. So certainly that mistake at Ascari cost him. Humbo Stone also in the McLaren, Foxy Red's teammate this season, actually coming through Parabolica. The Taurus LIP sets a 1:22.2 and a Polo 1:22.3. So I think there's certainly more time to be gained there in qualifying with 8 minutes remaining. As Parkway Drive puts it on provisional pole, a 1:21.0. So very impressive from Parkway Drive. And so the lap times are starting to come in. Chulo Cookie, a 1:21.8 with Tamworth in the Sauber going second and a 1:21.2, 2 tenths down in Parkway Drive. But certainly the driver to watch out for is Gamer the Best. He's currently on a hot lap at the moment coming up through Parabolica, and we'll be looking forward to seeing his opening lap time. Certainly it should be an impressive one, a 1:20.6. So provisional pole with a 4/10th lead over Parkway Drive for second. So it'll certainly take a lot to dislodge Gamer the Best from provisional pole at the moment. Certainly an impressive opening lap and a very strong banker lap from Gamer the Best in the Sauber. So yet to set a lap time is Humbo Stone as it comes across the start finish line and goes sixth with a 1:21.6, so 1 second down on Gamer the Best, but a very competitive time from the McLaren driver. Just jump on board with Flying Frome as he just comes round the final corner in the Red Bull, looking to set his opening lap, but I think he bails out and it goes into the pit lane. So I don't know if he's possibly made a mistake. UK Tranquility still in the pits, as is Sambam Kid, but Sambam Kid is now prepared to come out to set a hot lap as the cars begin to come back in. So Sambam Kid electing for a clear track as Gamer the Best comes in with an impressive opening lap to the Italian Grand Prix qualifying session. So Nicky's still out on track on the Force Indy. He's got a little bit of traffic ahead. Oh, the Haas, Nicky decides against it. It could have been his unlap there actually. And he sets a 1:21.5, so 9 tenths down on Gamer the Best. So it's looking very congested in the midfield at the moment. Gamer the Best having a slight advantage by 4 tenths of a second. He'll be hoping to hold on to provisional pole. Will we see him coming out and setting another qualifying lap, or will he remain in the pits to conserve tyres? Certainly it's a one-stop race, so no need to conserve the tyres too much, and he will have 3 sets of the Super Soft available for him in the qualifying session. So we do have the majority of the cars in the garage, but Foxy Red is having a second go at the qualifying lap. He's got 5 minutes remaining in this session, currently on his outlap, just coming up to the chicane in the sector 1 as he approaches Lesmos. So Foxy Red could, I think he really needs to dig deep at the moment. He's down a 1:22.1, currently sitting 10th on the grid. I certainly think there's more to come from this young man. I do expect Foxy Red to actually be challenging for pole, if not second and third. And Chulo Cookie has actually just come out the pits as well, coming through Curva Grande in the Williams car this evening. He'll certainly be looking for a bit more luck than he has had the previous few races. He's suffered a few retirements and a few incidents, and it's not really been a great start to the season for Chulo Cookie. But at the moment he's on at 1:21.8. I certainly think he can go quicker than that. But the Formula 1 league certainly consists of stiff competition, and it's going to take a magnificent effort from all drivers to dislodge Gamer the Best from pole. So we'll just jump back on board with Foxy Red. He is on his hot lap at the moment, just coming through Curve Grande, approaching the first sector. It's a 26.7, so fairly similar to the last effort. A Sambam Kid takes pole with a 120.4, so Sambam Kid in the Mercedes, another new addition to the Formula 1 league. And Gamer the Best has just saw this and he's actually coming down his outlap, so the Toro Rosso driver will be looking to reclaim provisional pole, looking to get the best start to the Italian Grand Prix. Humblestone's currently, he was pausing there for a second, just allowing the Toro Rosso, I believe, through the chicane. It's at turn 1. I don't know how much of an obstacle he was creating there. It wasn't the best place to stop to allow the other driver past. It might have compromised his pit entry. And Foxy Red just comes across the start finish straight and start finish line, sets a 121.1, so an improvement by 6 positions, but certainly still a fair amount off pole. So he's currently 7/10ths down in Sambam Kid for pole. I wonder if he's maybe having a cool down lap and then will opt to go for another hot lap. Sambam Kid just coming round Parabolica. Is he going any quicker than he did the previous lap? It does. He goes 120.2, so an improvement from 2/10ths. Gamer the Best just goes on his hot lap, just approaching the first chicane. He's going to have to spot this braking zone perfectly. Slight lock-up won't compromise his pit entry, his turn entry too much as he approaches Curve Grande. What sector 1 time will he set? He certainly has to try and get within he's certainly going to have to get very close to Sambam Kid. Goes 26.4, sector 1. Chulo Cookie just commenting that he'd messed up his lap at the second chicane. Sambam Kid goes off track to allow traffic pass. Gamer the Best just coming down the back straight, approaching Ascari. Can he improve as there's yellow flags in sector 2? Certainly very aggressive through Ascari there as he approaches Parabolica. Can he get quicker than Sambam Kid, or is he going to be stuck on the dirty side of the track for the start of the Italian Grand Prix? As we approach the start finish line, he's currently sitting second with a 120.6. It doesn't improve. The question is Gamer the Best put enough fuel in there to go on 2 hot laps? So he's 4/10ths down on provisional pole with Apollo hot on his heels on a 120.8. So Apollo, the Sauber driver, coming through Parabolica, looking to keep it neat and tidy, getting on the power early. Doesn't he? Bails out of it. So Apollo looks to be happy on the clean side of the track. Currently in third is Flying From. Retires from the session. Yellow flags. So yellow flags sector 3. Nicky just comes through Ascari in the Force India. He'll be looking for an improvement in last night's race as he actually received thermal damage in the back straight. The start finish straight after an aggressive overtaking move in KLC in last night's Performance League. Gamer the Best coming through Parabolica. Is he going for the lap? He doesn't. He bails out and goes into the pits as Sambam Kid's just crossing the grass at the moment. That looks as if it's down at Ascari, so I don't know if he maybe bailed out the corner or missed a braking point, but he's just making his way back to the pits. He does hold on to provisional pole. Tamworth Fox looks to be on a hot lap at the moment, certainly could be challenging for pole position. Currently down in 8th with a 121.2, certainly not where he wants to be. As Notorious retires from the session, also coming through Parabolica. Tamworth Fox can improve on 8th place. Oh, he goes second with a 120.4, so he splits the new members to F1. He's currently on the dirty end of the grid, but Gamer the Best in third will be delighted to be starting from the clean side of the grid and hopefully getting an attacking move on Tamworth and Sambam Kid. Apologies to Chulo for reminding him of the Japanese Grand Prix. Apologies for reminding you how tough last week's Japanese Grand Prix was for you. Sambam Kid, apologies there, limps his way back into the pit lane on bingo fuel. So we're just running down the final minutes of the qualifying session. It looks as if Sambam Kid is securely got a hold of pole position. A very impressive 120.2 as we just wait for the session to finish here. Good evening to Lance Stroll, Chili Cookie and Saab. And we're going to run down the qualifying order. Sambam Kid does secure pole with a 120.2, followed by Sauber driver Tamworth Fox 120.4, so 2 tenths or just shy of 2 tenths down in Sambam Kid. Gamer the Best, which was my favourite, for the pole in third, Apollo in fourth, Parkway in fifth, Foxy Red sixth, Speed Queen 7th, 8th is Humblestone, 9th is Tranquility, 10th is Flying From, 11th is Nicky, 12th is Mike, and 13th is Chulo Cookie. So as we just wait for the drivers to select their strategies for the Italian Grand Prix, and we will just yeah, certainly an impressive lap from Sambam Kid, and I'm looking forward to a three-way battle at the front from Sambam Kid, Tamworth Fox and Gamer the Best. But certainly let's not rule out the competition that's round about them. Some very quick drivers. Certainly UK Tranquility will be looking to be up there to challenge for the race win. He certainly had an impressive start to the race, and he'll be looking to secure points for the Renault as move over to Renault from the Mercedes team. So as we just wait for the countdown for the drivers to go onto the grid to begin the formation lap, and then we'll certainly get things underway. So Sambam Kid will lead us off on the formation lap, followed by Tamworth Fox and Gamer the Best. Apollo coming in fourth, so a good lap from Apollo there, and certainly in with a chance of securing the race win, if not a podium. But he's going to have tough competition behind him in the form of Parkway Drive, Foxy Red and Speed Queen. Speed Queen will be high in confidence after her race win in the No Assist League on Monday. But as Chulo Cookie gets disqualified from the formation lap, so certainly an incident there involving Chulo Cookie. I believe he will be starting on the fresher tyres, as well as Nicky, Mike, Sheepy and Notorious. Sheepy having an impressive result last week. I believe he finished in 5th. But certainly in terms of the championship, Foxy Red and Speed Queen, as well as Tranquility, could look to capitalise on the absence of Veni Vidi Vici this week. Just to inform Chulo Cookie for his removal from the formation lap, any slight contact between cars will remove you from the formation lap. So as we just approach Parabolica, Sambam Kid warming his tyres and his brakes. He'll certainly need to get a lot of temperature in there, waiting for the other 14 drivers to form up on the grid. He'll be losing both tyre and brake temperature, and he'll certainly need both for the heavy braking zone into turn 1. But he's certainly going to be having to be mindful of Tamworth Fox and Gamer the Best, notoriously quick starters, as well as the midfield coming or charging hard from behind. So Sambam Kid puts his car in its box, its grid slot, and we're certainly waiting for the start of the Italian Grand Prix. Please feel free to post your predictions for the top 3 and also fastest lap. So as we're just waiting for the race director to get things underway, we have 1 red light, 2 red lights, 3 red lights, 4 red lights, 5 red lights, and we are go! So a good start from Sam Bam, but Tamworth is also a good start, but Gamer the Best looking to come down the outside of Tamworth Fox, going into turn 1, slight lock up by Sam Bam Kid. Gamer the Best gets the move done, no, not quite. Tamworth fights him off and holds on to second place. Sam Bam Kid takes us through Curve Grande. And he's still in the lead of the first chicane, closely followed by Tamworth Fox. Gamer the Best in third. Apollo held on to fourth. Parkway Drive and Foxy Red also held on to their positions, but there's movement between Flying From and Nicky. Flying From does move up to 10th position as we come through Lesmos. It looks as if there was a driver run wide. It looks as if Humblestone it was in the McLaren just ran wide on the exit of the Lesmos, catching the gravel and certainly compromises straight line speed. But Flying From looking to go round the outside at Ascari, but decides better of it, allows Humblestone to come through ahead, but he'll certainly tuck in behind for the slipstream. But he could come under pressure from the Force India of Nicky. As Tamworth Fox closes down Sam Bam Kid, the gap now 0.3 of a second, closely followed by Gamer the Best. So the front 3 starting to open up the gap to Apollo, currently in 4th place. But Parkway Drive will be looking to get that move done into turn 1 as well. Tamworth Fox has a little look on the inside. Will he have a go? Sam Bam Kid locks up. Yeah, it looks as if Tamworth Fox was thinking about the cutback, but Sam Bam Kid had him covered off. Speed Queen's beginning to put pressure on our championship rival Foxy Red as we come through Curve Grande. Apollo working hard, trying to keep that Renault of Parkway Drive behind as the battle continues between Sam Bam Kid and Tamworth Fox. Also Gamer the Best all within half a second of each other, so the front 3 looking to get away from the pack. And the gap between Gamer the Best and Apollo is 0.7 of a second, so the front 3 starting to have a charge in this race, opening up the gap and having a 3-way battle all on their own. Parkway Drive continues to pressure Apollo. He certainly wants the move done to take 4th and having a go at the front 3. Speed Queen has a little look on the inside at Parabolica, or the approach to Parabolica on Foxy Red. So Foxy Red looks to be struggling for early pace at the start of the race as Sam Bam Kid sets the fastest lap, followed by Parkway Drive. Looks as if Gamer the Best had got the move done on pace, but Tamworth Fox held the line and managed to get back ahead into the chicane. But Apollo and Parkway continue the battle. Looks as if Parkway got the move done on the start-finish straight. So certainly slipstream, possibly DRS, but Gamer the Best and Tamworth continue the battle as Gamer the Best puts in nose front coming through Curve Grande, approaching the chicane into sector 1, but Parkway could be putting pressure on Tamworth Fox momentarily, but while Gamer the Best and Tamworth had been fighting, Sam Bam Kid has managed to open up the gap to 1.1 seconds. So looking to break DRSs, there's a move at the back of the grid between Notorious and Mike. Looks as if Mike's possibly had an issue. Mike's certainly dropping back. It looks as if he's went off grid, and Notorious currently 14th on the medium tyre, so looking to go on the quicker tyre at the end of the race. Speed Queen and Foxy Red continue the battle on the track. Foxy Red takes the inside line. Speed Queen was looking to go round the outside the Parabolica, but was certainly tucked in behind, looking for the slipstream. Tamworth Fox managing to close down Gamer the Best. The gap 0.3 of a second. He'll certainly have DRS as we approach turn 1, but Parkway Drive and the Renault is closing ever more to Tamworth Fox and Gamer the Best ahead, and as they continue to battle, certainly that'll play into the Renault driver's hands. But there's movement again between Flying Frome and Humblestone. It looks as if Flying Frome got the move done going into turn 1 under DRS. We do have support for Sambam Kid from Jake. Good evening, Jake. So it looks as if the midfield's starting to drop off from the front runners. There's certainly a gap opening up between UK Tranquility and Flying Frome, as Humblestone's trying to keep a hold of that Red Bull. So starting also at the back again, Chulo Cookie struggling to actually make any positions up. He started on the soft tyre, currently 0.2 of a second behind Nicky. It looks as if there's a move between Chulo Cookie and Nicky. That looks as if it was coming out of a Ascari. Chulo Cookie leads the Force India driver of Nicky, but Nicky should have DRS, but it will be neutralised because Chulo should actually get it off Humblestone as well. So as we rejoin the front of the grid, the positions are still being held. Sambam Kid still maintains the race lead, but Gamer the Best has closed down the gap to 0.7 of a second, followed by Tamworth Fox in third, with Parkway Drive on the charge up to fourth, who's also closing down Tamworth Fox. So Parkway Drive looking to get a podium finish in the first race of the season, as Tamworth Fox receives a 3-second penalty from race control. And Speed Queen still unable to find a way past Foxy Red at the moment. The gap half a second, as Gamer the Best is reining in Sambam Kid even more as we approach Ascari. The gap just over 0.3 of a second. Oh, Gamer the Best runs a little wide there in the exit of Ascari, but certainly he's able to carry a lot of pace to catch the Mercedes ahead of Sambam Kid going through parabolic. He just needs to tuck in. Hopefully he won't get too compromised by the dirty air. So Gamer the Best managing to catch Sambam Kid. Can he get close enough for a move into turn 1? Has a little look on the inside. Sambam Kid locks up slightly. That allows Gamer the Best to close him down. Parkway Drive is right all over the back of Tamworth Fox's Sauber as well. Sambam Kid takes the outside defensive line. Gamer the Best just having a little look on the inside. Sambam Kid slightly locking up again. But again, Speed Queen cannot find a way past Foxy Red at the moment. So Foxy Red managing to hold his championship rival behind him. And certainly this is important for the championship standings as things stand. Certainly both drivers won't want to compromise each other's races, as the championship leader Venet was unable to attend tonight's race. So Speed Queen and Foxy Red looking to maximise the points gained tonight. And Gamer Best still struggles to find a way past Mercedes driver Sambam Kid as he has another go with the DRS. It looks as if he's a bit too far back to affect a move into turn 1, but it looks as if they're approaching traffic slightly ahead. It does look as if it's the Ferrari of Mike, and he won't want to get in the way of this battle either. As Gamer the Best struggles with rear end grip there slightly, and that allows Sambam Kid to open up the gap. And there's movement there. It looks as if Speed Queen Foxy Red had traded positions slightly, but I think Speed Queen lost a bit of rear end grip, and that allows UK Tranquility and the Renault to catch Foxy Red and Speed Queen battling ahead. UK Tranquility certainly needs to pass these two drivers in terms of the championship standings. And Tamworth Fox is still able to hold on to the Renault driver Parkway Drive after that earlier overtake. A slight lock up there from Parkway Drive. Tamworth Fox manages to close him in slightly more, but certainly the battle up ahead for the top three is certainly continuing. It looks as if this could be a race-long battle between Sambam Kid, Gamer the Best, and Parkway Drive. So it looks as though Gamer the Best has got DRS, he's unable to get past Sambam Kid. So Sambam Kid has got tremendous straight line speed in the Mercedes car. Tamworth Fox does get the move done eventually in Parkway Drive, so he retakes third place, but he does have a 3-second time penalty that will be added to his race time. So Parkway Drive might want to just get by him for a bit of pride, but he knows that he doesn't have to overtake Tamworth Fox at this stage in the race to inherit third place and that final podium place. Looks as if UK Tranquility still holding on to the back of Foxy Red and Speed Queen. Speed Queen still unable to get past Foxy Red, so very equal in terms of pace overall in the race between Foxy Red and Speed Queen. As Nicky continues the battle with Humblestone, the gap half a second with Sheepy currently 3.3 seconds behind, and 13th Notorious dropping off quite significantly, but he has pitted. He's went from medium to the soft tyre as the battle ahead continues. Sambam Kid goes into the pits. Sambam Kid went into the pits. Gamer the Best thought about it, and he actually outbroke himself there, so certainly that's going to compromise his pace, and he's actually lost out in first position as Parkway Drive was able to get the jump on him. So a bit of a disaster there from Gamer the Best, but he's just going to have to get on with it. So Parkway Drive manages to move up to first as Tamworth also pits, with Sambam Kid and Tamworth as well as Tranquility all opting to go on the medium tyre. So very early pit stop there from Sambam, Tamworth and Tranquility. And a bit of a surprise to see the drivers going on to the medium tyre, as it's a standard one-stop race where you can go for or from super softs to soft. So Parkway Drive will be looking to maximise the clear air that he's got now. He's opened up the gap to 1 second. So will we see Parkway Drive go for the pits? Pit he is, and Game of the Best follows him in, but the question will be, where is Sambam Kid and Tamworth in relation to that? They're just coming up to the approach of Parabolica, and they'll certainly retake the lead of the race. But what tyre is Parkway, Gamer and Apollo opting for? So Parkway also goes in the medium as well as Gamer. Gamer the Best also goes on the medium tyre. Chulo Cookie moves up to third from 13th, with Flying From staying out on the Red Bull on Super Softs as well as Foxy Red. So it does look as if Speed Queen has went into the pits, and Speed Queen goes the soft tyre. So out of our competitors ahead, Speed Queen is on the quicker tyre, and certainly she should be able to take this to the race end. So it looks as if Speed Queen's giving herself an advantage over the competitors ahead. So Flying From now moves up to first place, followed by Foxy Red, the gap 1.1 second. Chulo Cookie yet to pit as well, but on the soft tyre looking to go further in the race. 1.5 seconds down in Foxy Red, with Sheepy 10 seconds behind, but it looks as if he's coming under pressure from Sambam Kid as we approach Ascari. Sambam Kid gets him moved done before Ascari, and certainly will be relieved at that and not want to go wheel to wheel through Ascari and compromise his race, as Tamworth Fox is going to have to get the move done quickly as well. He won't want to be stuck behind Sheepy fighting for fifth. He's going to want to get past Sheepy as quick as possible and continue the chase for Sambam Kid. Game of the Best and Parkway Drive currently down in 7th and 8th at the moment, and they are looking to go to the end of the race. So Foxy Red now pits. He's chosen the soft tyre, so a similar strategy to Speed Queen. And it looks as if Speed Queen's actually got the undercut, so Speed Queen ahead with the earlier pit stop as Parkway Drive and Game of the Best continue the battle through Curvy Grande. The Renault looking to go defensive, just covering off Game of the Best's look on the outside. UK Tranquility, after the pit stop, finds himself in 9th position behind Apollo for 8th. So certainly it's going to be a race to the end between these drivers as Humblestone retires from the session. I think that was a retirement in the garage, so he's certainly not had the race he's wanting or hoped for tonight. Shapey is actually starting to close down Tamworth Fox. Shapey yet to pit actually because he started on a fresh set of super soft, so certainly got a little bit more pace than Tamworth Fox at the moment, but as I said, he's yet to pit. So Game of the Best still unable to pass Parkway Drive with DRS and lights up the rear tyres. Certainly that's going to eat through the rubber on the medium tyre as Parkway Drive looks to go round the outside at Curvy Grande on Sheepy. So it looks as if Game of the Best actually, yeah, he's wanting to get past Sheep. He runs wide slightly on the exit of Lesmo 2. And he wouldn't want to be being held by Sheepy too much longer. He'd be wanting to get the move done on Sheepy and get chasing after Parkway Drive, as well as Sambam Kid, who's currently up in 3rd at the moment. And Tranquility is still closing down Apollo, the gap 7/10 of a second. And I do believe Flying From has come into the pits, and Chulo Cookie moves up to inherit the race lead, currently on the soft tyre, yet to pit. But Sam Kidd is chasing him down hard, the gap 6.9 seconds with Tamworth 1.9. So certainly Chulo Cookie will be looking to go for another 4 laps possibly, and then go into the super soft tyre at the end. So the battle between Speed Queen and Foxy Red continues, but Speed Queen is ahead at the moment and looking to hold off our competitor Foxy Red as we come through Curvy Grande. Both cars on similar tyre compounds, Speed Queen in 1 lap older tyres of course. Opting for the undercut. Foxy Red's right up the gearbox as Speed Queen as we come down the second DRS zone. Can he get a little look on the inside of Ascari? It looks as if he's struggling under pace compared to Speed Queen slightly ahead, who hasn't got DRS. Oh, Speed Queen runs wide off the apex of Ascari. That allows Foxy Red to close even more. It's tucked in behind Speed Queen as Nicky leaves the session. But, has a little look in the inside of Parabolica, thinks better of it. Speed Queen just goes to the outside, allows the natural pace of the car to run wide, just carrying more speed through Parabolica. But Foxy Red is right behind Speed Queen. He will have DRS, but it doesn't look to be making any headway. He's going to have to get this move done under braking. Foxy Red moves to the inside. Speed Queen goes defensive on the outside. And Foxy Red moves up to 8th place in the race. So a good textbook DRS overtaking move into turn 1. And certainly I don't think that this battle is over by a long shot, as Parkway Drive receives a 3-second penalty for multiple corner cutting. As the battle between Apollo and Tranquility continues, coming through, Lesmo's on the run down to Ascari. Can Tranquility get close enough to make a move into Ascari with DRS? It looks as if Apollo ran wide there, slightly compromising his overall pace. That allows Tranquility to get the slipstream in the toe. Coming down to Ascari, he's even closer. It just needs to get a clean exit from Ascari in the run down to Parabolic and possibly get moved on the start finish straight. And Chulo Cookie's losing time to Sambam Kid on the fresher tyre. The gap down to 4.7 seconds. Chulo Cookie yet to pit, of course. And Tamworth currently holding on a 2.7 second gap to Sambam Kid. But Tamworth, Fox and Parkway Drive in fourth both have 3 second time penalties. So certainly Gamer could inherit second. So at the moment, the only cars that are actually battling on track is Apollo and Tranquility, as well as Foxy Red and Speed Queen. But Tranquility could come under pressure from Foxy Red pretty soon. The gap is 2.3 seconds, but Foxy Red is on a quicker tyre compound and he's certainly on fresher rubber. So this could potentially be a four-way battle for 6th position. Oh, and that's a car that's run wide. It looks as if Gamer the Best has actually lost the rear end at the exit of Ascari. So disaster for Gamer the Best at the moment. He's down in 9th, but certainly could lose 9th to Flying Frome, who was carrying more pace coming out of Ascari. So Gamer the Best, just unfortunate to have lost the rear end at the exit of Ascari, but certainly he's not going to quit here. He's still within the championship points, but he will have DRS on Flying Frome. But certainly his challenge will be that ever bit tougher on the medium tyre compared to Flying Frome, Speed Queen and Foxy Red ahead, all on the soft tyre. So Apollo's starting to open up the gap slightly to Tranquility. The gap now 7/10 of a second, but Foxy Red has got the gap down to 1.7 to Tranquility. So Foxy Red and Speed Queen both starting to rein in Tranquility, and Apollo slightly ahead, but Parkway Drive isn't in a very secure position either. He does only have a 1.4 second gap, but he also has a 3 second time penalty. So Flying Frome is currently catching Speed Queen, gap 3/10 of a second, but Gamer the Best half a second down in Flying Frome. He will have DRS as the exit Parabolica, but Chulo Cookie has just come into the pits. That means that Sambam Kid and Tamworth Fox both move into first and second, with Parkway Drive in third. Apollo moves up to fourth with Tranquility in fifth. Foxy Red takes sixth. Speed Queen still battling hard, looking to move on the inside of turn one. Foxy Red still slightly ahead with Flying Frome closely following behind, and Gamer the Best in ninth. Tranquility's closed the gap down now to 3/10 of a second on Apollo. I believe that is with the assistance of DRS. So Tranquility closer than he's been in a while at the back of Apollo. Oh, and Apollo looks as if he's made a mistake coming out of the chicane. That allows Tranquility to move up to fourth place, so Apollo could come under pressure from Foxy Red. The gap's 1.2 seconds, but Speed Queen's only 3/10 down in Foxy Red as well. So although Foxy Red will be looking ahead, he will need to watch Speed Queen behind, as well as Flying Frome, who's only 3/10 down in Speed Queen. So currently a four-way battle between the McLaren, the Toro Rosso, the Red Bull and the Sauber. with Apollo and Tranquility continuing the fight ahead, going wheel to wheel as they approach Parabolica. The reign of Tranquility is slightly ahead on the inside. That forces Apollo to go wide, but he's looking to do the cutback. He's tucking in the slipstream, gets a better exit from Parabolica, goes to the inside. He's going to get DRS. Can he get ahead and in control of turn one? Oh, there's no let up between both drivers, or they're side by side going down the pit straight. Tranquility slightly ahead, but Apollo has the inside line. Tranquility decides better of it, backs out of it, concedes the position back to Apollo, but certainly that'll compromise his position towards Speed Queen, Flying From and Foxy Red, who they've carried more pace out coming out of turn one. So Tranquility stuck behind Foxy Red right on the gearbox as we approach the chicane at the end of sector 1. Speed Queen currently down 7th with Flying From 3/10 down. So a great piece of driving from Apollo, although he lost it in the lap before at the chicane exit of sector 1. He certainly utilised that opportunity with the DRS in the pit straight going into turn 1. He looks to run wide slightly there at the exit of Ascari. I don't think he's lost too much time, but Foxy Red will see that as an opportunity to close even more as Speed Queen is all over the back of Tranquility. They get 1/10 of a second, so Tranquility can under pressure as he runs wide at Parabolica, and he's actually lost out to Speed Queen and could lose out to Flying From and the Red Bull, possibly Gamer the Best as well. So Flying From moves up to 7th place. Tranquility has a little look on the inside. Gamer the Best decides better of it and just waits to see if there's any contact ahead, looking to grasp any opportunities. He was just unable. It looks like Flying From held him off. So while this has been going on, Apollo has started to open up the gap to Foxy Red. The gap 6/10 of a second, but the battle between Speed Queen, Tranquility, Flying From and Gamer the Best is intensifying as we come up and approach lap 19 of 27. Gamer the Best, alone the medium tyre, looks to have the better exit from Lesmos, but certainly compromised straight line speed. So Flying From leads Gamer the Best out of Ascari as we approach Parabolica. UK Tranquility is slightly ahead, but UK Tranquility looks to be struggling under the fast-paced corners, running wide out of Parabolica, and it looks in comparison that Flying From and Gamer the Best do have the best pace coming out of Parabolica into the pit straight. So Flying From having a look in inside the Tranquility, he just can't get close enough to make a move as Foxy Red is closed down and Apollo coming through Curvy Grande as we approach the chicane at the end of sector 1. Apollo slightly ahead. Who can get the better exit to attack Lesmos? Apollo runs wide slightly, just clips the gravel. That forces him to come over to the inside of the track. Foxy Red will have DRS as we come down towards Ascari. Apollo looks to have good straight line speed. Foxy Red doesn't look to be making an impression on the gap. Oh, Apollo runs right at Ascari. It's going to compromise his exit and his overall pace. Foxy Red moves to the outside. Yep, wheel to wheel. Who's going to get their nose ahead into Parabolica? Apollo decides better of it. Tucks in behind Foxy Red, looking for the toe, and he will get DRS, so we could see Apollo retake 4th place as Parkway Drive has actually closed down Tamworth. Foxy gap now half a second. Apollo looks to make the move on the outside. Foxy Red just covers him off. That allows Speed Queen to close down Apollo for the battle for 5th, possibly 4th. And the battle continues between Renault driver Tranquility and Red Bull driver Flying Frome. So Gamer the Best holding position at the moment, gets a better exit out the chicane, makes contact with Flying Frome. It doesn't look as if he's received damage, possibly minor damage to the front wing, but it certainly looks to still have good turning. And he's right over the gearbox of Flying Frome, but he's going to have to watch Chulo Cookie approaching at pace from behind on the super soft tyre. So we could possibly have a four-way battle for 7th position. There's a ride on board with the helicopter, a fantastic view as we approach Parabolica. Foxy Red closing in on the Renault with Gamer the Best slightly behind. It looks as if he had a bit of a slide coming through the exit of Parabolica. Flying Frome gets a move done with DRS. It looks as if Chulo Cookie's having a go at Gamer the Best under DRS conditions as well. So Flying Frome moves up to 7th from 8th. So the four-way battle continues with the four drivers just trading positions at the moment. Chulo Cookie sitting behind in 10th, just biding his time. Slight lock up from Gamer the Best. Tranquility looks to run wide slightly. That allows Gamer the Best to close up as well as Chulo Cookie. Oh, Tranquility looks to have lost it under power, forces him wide into the gravel. That allows Flying Frome and Gamer the Best to move up position, but the battle is continued between Foxy Red, Apollo and Speed Queen. So Foxy Red looking to hold on to 4th position at the moment, as well as Apollo's currently half a second behind. Both Apollo and Speed Queen will have DRS. Can they have a move into turn 1 on Apollo? He looks to have good straight line speed at the moment. Foxy Red looking to stay out of trouble as Apollo and Speed Queen continue the battle. Apollo lights up the rear tyre, struggles under traction. That allows Speed Queen to come through the inside at Curva Grande. Speed Queen looks to have the better pace on the inside line. Oh, a slight lock up from Speed Queen as she goes through the chicane. That certainly compromised her exit. Apollo looked to get the better exit and just makes contact with the rear of Speed Queen's car. But Gamer the Best and Flying Frome continuing the battle through Lesmo's the gap. 1/10 of a second. Flying Frome loses the rear end of the Red Bull. I don't know if that was under contact or if he just tried to get on the power too early. Gamer the Best moves round the outside as we approach Ascari with the Williams driver of Chulo Cookie and the Renault of Tranquility looking to put hard pressure. So Apollo on the gearbox of Speed Queen coming through Parabolica, as well as Flying Frome, Gamer the Best and Chulo Cookie. Chulo Cookie runs well wide. That should allow the Reign of Tranquility to come in from behind. Speed Queen and Apollo going really well coming round turn 1. Apollo looks to have the inside line. Speed Queen's certainly not conceding any positions at the moment. So good clean racing from Apollo and Speed Queen going through turn 1. It looks as if Chulo Cookie did get the move done in Tranquility earlier on. Flying Frome holding on to 8th, but Gamer must have got the position a bit early on in the lap. Could have been under DRS conditions going into turn 1 as a battle between Speed Queen and Apollo continues through Lesmo's. Apollo will have DRS. Tamworth Fox receives a 3-second penalty from race control. So I think that's a 6-second penalty in total for Tamworth Fox. So Speed Queen coming through Parabolica, looking for a great exit here. She'll certainly need it for hard charging Apollo. 0.2 of a second behind with DRS. Although Apollo is catching her, he'll need to get this done under braking. Tries to brake late. Speed Queen gives him a bit of room, but Speed Queen certainly leads Apollo into turn 1 on lap 25 of the Italian Grand Prix. And Gamer the Best is actually on the back of Apollo as well, so Apollo's going to have to look at his wing mirrors as well as Speed Queen ahead. Can Gamer the Best get the move done at chicane? He thinks better of it, certainly. He's not wanting to compromise his front wing or risk any other incidents and lose out. Certainly was in with a good chance of a podium position until that loss of control of the car at the exit of Ascari. So currently a three-way battle for fifth between Speed Queen, Apollo and Gamer the Best. But Flying From will want to close down on this as well. Currently 7/10 behind with a hard charging Chulo Cookie on the super soft tyre, currently in 9th. And as Speed Queen, Apollo and Gamer the Best battle, Foxy Red starts to open up the gap. 1.1 second is the gap at the moment, as Parkway Drive still holds on to a 3-second gap behind Tamworth Fox, but certainly with Tamworth Fox's penalties, that should inherit. Oh, and it looks as if Apollo got the move down round the outside and exit of turn 1. And certainly Speed Queen's going to come under pressure from Gamer the Best now. A slight lock up from Speed Queen, who's into the chicane. She runs wide. Gamer the Best looking to attack hard on the inside, but certainly can't position the car on the outside of Speed Queen to get past. It's Flying Frome's currently holding on to a 2/10 gap behind Gamer the Best, looking for any opportunity to make up some lost positions early on in the race. So as both Toro Rosso teammates continue to battle on track, certainly they won't want to trip each other up at the moment. Toro Rosso currently sitting in 5th in the Constructor Championship. Speed Queen runs slightly wide. Gamer the Best looks to have got the better pace coming through Parabolica. He looks to get his nose slightly ahead and does, and he should still have DRS coming through the pit straight, but Speed Queen won't want to lose this position because certainly she'll be back wanting to get as close to Foxy Red as possible. Apollo looks to have lost the rear end of his car coming out the exit of turn 1. Parkway Drive starting to lose time on Tamworth, the gap up to 1.6 seconds. So at the moment the closest drivers on track are Foxy Red in 4th, Apollo 5th, Gamer the Best in 6th, Speed Queen in 7th, with Flying From closely behind in 8th, with Chulo Cookie on the super soft, actually starting to drop off now with Tranquility fighting. Tranquility on the medium tyre compared to Chulo Cookie. And Sambam Kid takes the race win. Congratulations to Sambam Kid taking the race win on his very first Invictus F1 Eco Performance race, with Parkway Drive after penalties takes 2nd. Tamworth Fox takes the final podium position in 3rd. You'll be relieved after that. Foxy Red takes 4th with penalties. Speed Queen moves up to 5th. Gamer the Best down to 6th. Apollo will take 7th. Flying From will take 8th. Tranquility took 9th, with Chulo Cookie taking the final championship point. 11th was Sheepy in the Williams, yet to finish, coming through Parabolica at the moment. So after a good result last week in Japan. Sheepy unable to finish in the points. Mike finishes in 13th with Notorious in the Haas, just coming round Parabolica to take 12th place. So I hope that you actually enjoyed tonight's F1 race. Certainly a lot of action happening on track there, and certainly hope you enjoyed tonight's race, and congratulations to Sam Bam Kid on the race win with Parkway Drive and Tamworth. I just want to thank everyone for joining tonight's viewing, and certainly thanks for everyone's comments. We hope that you can join us next Wednesday, and certainly I'm going to give my voice a rest. I'm not used to commentating on my own, but certainly thanks for everybody that joined us tonight, and as I say, I hope that you join us next week. So just to run down the positions of the Italian Grand Prix: in first place, Sam Bam Kid takes the race win. Parkway Drive will take second. Tamworth Fox, after penalties, takes third. Foxy Red takes fourth. Speed Queen with fifth. Gamer the Best sixth. Apollo in seventh. Flying From eighth. Tranquility ninth. 10th is Chulo Cookie. Sheepy takes 11th. Notorious will take 12th. And Mike finishes 13th. So thanks again. We hope that you enjoyed tonight's live stream, and we hope that you join us next week. Next week we're at the circuit of the Americas for the American Grand Prix, and I'll say good night and thank you very much.